All right, let me edit this. Why is everything so hot?
We're up. We're live.
Oh, are we?
Hi, everybody. Wow, we're having some serious technical difficulties here today.
Sorry, guys.
Apparently, the broadcast struggle bus is real. Anyway, wow. Well, we're just backstage, so to speak, cracking ourselves up as we try to push buttons and get this thing to work. Anyway, hello, everyone. Welcome to YHB TV. YHB means Your Handmade Business. I'm Isaac. This is Sharon.
I'm Sharon.
And we are the co-directors and partners in crime for Academy of Handmade. We are back here for our weekly broadcast episode, whatever you want to call it, hitting off our monthly themes, which we address in our podcast and newsletter and in our private community for those of you that are part of that. And we started this series based on a week-long series of broadcasts that we did that we really enjoyed, all about shaping up for the holidays and getting your handmade business ready. So we are back. This is our second official week as YHB TV. And this month's theme, I should say, is determined. And we've had some interesting conversations so far. Last week, we were talking about standing in the way of your own success. And some of the different ways that we sometimes can undermine our own abilities to make progress in our business or to actually move forward, and dissected a few of those things. In our podcast and newsletter, we've talked about, I'm drawing a blank. Help me out, Sharon.
Hold on.
I talked to Nicole Stevenson from, sorry, I'm in like future podcast episode mode right now because I've been interviewing people.
Too. Do quit your daydream is what we talked about.
Quitting your daydream. There we go. So anyway, I do remember that I interviewed Nicole Stevenson from Dear Handmade Life about that. And next week's episode, I've interviewed Michelle Baines from Four Letter Words Cards about some really interesting experiences she's had about pushing through things. And I know Sharon's got some great words of wisdom to share in the newsletter as well.
Can I just, yes. If people are registered for YHB TV and they missed for October, and if they missed the last one, they can go up above here. It says schedule and it says session 2 of 3 right now. And if you click on that, you can look and see the last one, but don't click just yet because otherwise you will lose us and you'll have to come back to this session. But you can navigate the different sessions up there. So you can see all of them up there. Just don't click on the next one because then you'll have to come back here and you'll have lost us.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If you are new to Crowdcast, which is the platform we use to broadcast here, you've got the chat area on the right. You can ask a question using the button below. Sometimes we have polls that we put out. We don't have one today, but I'm sure we will next week. And we've got the green button there below the video is a link to our website where you can get some holiday promo help. And
actually, it's not our website. It's the podcast. It's the webinar.
Just kidding. It is holiday promo help though.
Yes, holiday. Yes, correct.
Anyway, now that the technical difficulties have completely thrown me off, I'm going to turn it over to Sharon, who's here to talk to us about why you might not be getting into gift guides.
Well, backing it up.
Or you can back it up. Sorry.
Well, if you're here and you're in the chat and you want to say hello, we'd love to know who's here with us. You can let us know where you're from and what you make and your business's name in the chat area where it says say something nice. Isaac's already gone in and done that. So I know Isaac is rushing us into business right now, but I'm gonna give like a few minutes to people that are just getting the notification that it's on, because I know there's like a delay in that sometimes. Like it just showed up on my phone that it was starting. So also, if you want to wish in the chat Isaac a happy anniversary, it's his 10-year dating anniversary with his husband today. So it's not their wedding anniversary.
No, that was just like 6 months ago.
Yeah, it is. It's their first dating anniversary.
Thank you.
So.
I'm just throwing off my game because we're just, celebrating today.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot happening.
Technical difficulties, and I'm just...
They're working. It's an anniversary. Isaac also is not high or anything like that, but his pupils are dilated because he went to the eye doctor earlier. So.
There's all kinds of things going on in life right now.
I don't want there to be a conspiracy theory, rumors spreading wildly on the internet today, that we have to like stamp out later. So
yeah, did you hear that guy Isaac? He's like, his eyes are dilated and he was acting really goofy and
exactly. There's just put those rumors to rest right now. So and definitely feel free to ask a question. So we're going to talk about gift guides specifically, and like there's different kinds of ways that you can get publicity and do promotions and get recognition for your brand during the holidays, and gift guides are just one of them, right? And so if you don't know what a gift guide is, it's basically they usually call them gift guides. So if you just kind of look them up, you can see them. But basically, like hi Amanda from Bread and Badgers here. If you take a gift guide, if you look at a magazine and they'll do like a roundup of products that are things that you would want to give as a gift. And usually they're categorized by things for men or for kids or for the, women who are on the go. Like they're usually gift guides are like very branded towards or very categorized towards the kind of person you're going to give the gift to. So, which makes sense, right? Like they're guiding you to giving for specific people. And oftentimes, the magazine that you see them in is dependent of, what kind of gift guides they're doing and featuring are dependent upon what kind of audience they have. So like in fashion magazines, you're seeing things that are more fashiony, stuff like that. And around the holidays, you'll see not only magazines, but you'll see blogs and you'll see even like newspapers, things like that. And even like maybe a local TV show do gift guides, gift roundups, things like that. And so if you guys have ever been featured in a gift guide and want to let us know about that experience or anything, just go ahead and let us know in the chat that you've been in a gift guide before, and maybe tell us a little bit about what that was like so we can kind of get some different perspectives. But so one of the reasons I wanted to talk about gift guides today is I think that sometimes we can start to see a certain type of product everywhere. And we're like, how did they get into these gift guides? And usually when you see something everywhere, they usually have some kind of like PR campaign or PR agency behind it. So that is usually why you see something everywhere, but that does not mean that there's not a reason you cannot get into a gift guide. And so the first thing, so I want to talk about 3 things about why you haven't gotten into a gift guide is that gift guide, you are probably not ready to be in a gift guide because you don't have things that are easy enough for an editor to just take and pull into a gift guide. So I think I wrote it down and I phrased it differently maybe. So yes, you're not preparing for the moment. And the 2 things that you're probably not preparing for the moment to get into a gift guide is you don't have great photos and you don't have an easy to gift product. Now, let's talk about the first one is the photos. And I think that a lot of people struggle with this one because most of the time in a gift guide, just go pick a magazine randomly. Most photos that are being used are photos that are on a white background, and they are usually like they have to be high resolution. So sometimes if it's a blog and somebody is picking up a gift guide item, they might just take it from your website and like, you know, put it in like some sort of square grid or something like that. But if you're working with like a magazine, they usually want something on white and high resolution. And so when they come and send you an email and they're like, we found this product of yours, do you have a photo that is XYZ, and you don't have it, you can lose that very quickly. Or if you don't have that sort of good photos already to be rounded up into like a blogger gift guide, a lot of times they'll just take your photo from the internet and they don't even tell you, right? They'll just maybe like tag you and you're like, oh, how am I getting all of this traffic? Where's this coming from? So you'll see that there. So the photo, having a really good photo and usually having it on a white background and high resolution is the best way to do that. We have a blog post on our website that talks about product photography. I forgot, I did not pull the link to that, but it talks about like why you should have your photos on a white background, which is different than, you know, the lifestyle shots too, which are great. Those are fine. But like there's the gift guide season, especially, they want to have white background photos. So Amanda said she's been in a lot of gift guides, but not in the past few years. Our mustache pint glass used to be very on trend and was basically everywhere. One of the best was Real Simple. Yeah. So that is another thing too, which kind of goes into this, is that you might not have a giftable item. And it's not that your products can't become giftable. It's just that it's maybe not presented in a way that's obvious to an editor or somebody like that, that it's for a gift. So thinking about ways to categorize your products in terms of like gifts under $25, gifts under $50, gifts for him, gifts for her, gifts for kids, and then thinking about how that fits into their life even more, like niching that down. Like I said, like women on the go, you know, trendy kids, things like that. Start thinking about ways that magazine editors might classify your product as a gift. Or maybe you need to sort of, or stocking stuffers, that's a great one. Or maybe you need to start thinking about other ways to position your product, or maybe pair it with other things that might make it more giftable. And Amanda's right. Having something that is a little bit on trend helps with that as well too. It's the same thing with like, there's a helicopter overhead. It's the same thing with like BuzzFeed type listicles, so that can help you figure out the trend stuff. So like avocados, like things that people are like just like weirdly into, or, you know, like she said, mustaches, but that kind of died down. And I don't want everyone to feel like they have to make a product just so that it can become giftable. But as you're researching thinking about your products for the next year, researching trends is a huge part of that. If you are in our private community, we have a whole thing on like thinking about how to research trends. So if you want to go into our resource directory, if you're part of our private community, you can and look at how we think about researching trends and how you might incorporate that. So it could be like a hot color, you know, kind of like I mentioned, like BuzzFeed listicle, just like things that people are weirdly into. Unicorns are kind of big right now, but maybe kind of going on their way out. The millennial pink, right? Like if you have something, I feel like millennial pink is like, there's like a range of that color. So if you can find something that is, you know, within that color range, you might think about that. So think about how your product fits into the trends too. All right. Isaac posted in the chat the links to the product photographies, like why your pictures need to be awesome, I think. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Is that the one with Marissa?
With what?
Marissa from Bourbon and Goose.
No,
I don't think that's it.
Sorry. Maybe I found the wrong one.
It's one on product photography.
I mean, I found
okay.
photography. I wanted to add. So first of all, this whole millennial pink thing has me puzzled, and I'm off on a tangent Googling about it. But I would say one thing to help you combat this reason why you might not be in a gift guide is to imagine what these gift guides will look like. Sharon mentioned having your products on a white background. One of the reasons for that is that a lot of these gift guides, especially in magazines, they're usually like, it's like just the object floating in a collage with other objects, and you've got like all the little call outs, you know, with the product info and things like that. It's because they need to take all these disparate objects and put them from a design standpoint in the same space. So that's one of the reasons why that is helpful. The other thing you can think of outside of the themes would be, you know, what types of publications are actually featuring gift guides that your products would fit with. You're not going to obviously be a good fit for every gift guide out there. So just think of like, what does the gift guide look like on the user end, and how can you optimize your products and your photography to match that?
Okay, I am not finding this.
Yeah,
this post.
No, I thought I nailed it. But...
No, I don't think so. Unless the date changed on this, I'll open it, but I don't think it's need.
Oh, wait. No, that's... Yeah. Sorry. We can dig it up later.
Okay. Yeah, we'll dig it up later. Anyways. The next thing as to why you are not in holiday gift guides is that you're not going after them actively. And so I think that is the other part of this, which is like a no duh. But like if you're not actively pursuing them, it's very hard that they're just going to naturally come to you. Now, it happens, especially if you're on trend and you have good SEO, which is helping navigate people to your product. But being proactive with it is almost always the best way to do it. And if you're wanting to get into gift guides, you really have to start thinking about that. Well, you have to start pitching in the summer and thinking about it before the summer. You can still pitch now. It's still possible. And a lot of times there's like late submissions, things like that. Obviously it's getting a lot more tight, especially with obviously print stuff and magazines, which are way in advance. But I would say a lot of, online content is like, there's unique online content that they're still looking for if it's a magazine, and still if it's a digital only platform, like something like a BuzzFeed, they're still looking for this stuff. So you can still make it look attractive for somebody to come to your website right now. So it's yes, why you should have your products on a white background. Bravo. Okay, so actively pursuing, and that's kind of like what I mentioned earlier, right? Is that people, you will see them everywhere and you will wonder how they're everywhere, and it usually is not some sort of just like magic. They have worked for it. And which, right, we realize with a lot of things in business, we think that somebody just sort of like made it there and they just like fell onto piles of cash, and there's like a lot of hard work that went into that we have no idea about a lot of times. So that is the second reason. The third reason is that you're being one and done. And there are two ways that you might be one and done. Is often I see people pitching once and then never following up, or maybe they just even follow up twice. And that's usually not the best way to do it. I mean, sometimes there are very strict rules that they might send out as to how they want to be pitched, but usually like following up and saying a few times, like reminding them and being persistent, which is what goes with our determined October theme. And then a lot of times people, and I totally understand the reason for this, but a lot of times people will feel rejected or not, or they just ignore them the last year. And so they don't even try the next year. And that's usually not how this stuff works. You usually got to like pitch them a few times, and then it will often take them a few notices before they might actually put you in the guide. So obviously if you're pitching yourself to the wrong magazine, that's never going to help you, or the wrong outlet or blog, whatever, they'll probably never let you in. But if you know that it's well aligned with, what they are looking for, and that your product is well aligned with their audience, there's a good chance if you keep at it, that you'll usually get traction. And it might not be traction the way you think it is exactly going to be, but a lot of times that's what it is. So those are the three things. why you're not getting into gift guides. You haven't prepared for the moment, which are having great photos and an easy to gift product, and then sort of asterisk thinking about the trends. You're not going after them actively. And then 3, you're giving up too quickly. You're one and done. You've pitched that year and you're done, or you don't go back to them ever again. So those are my thoughts. So do you have any thoughts to add to that, Isaac?
No, I think on your final point, pitching for gift guides is going to be the same as any kind of PR pitching that you do, as far as building a relationship and a rapport with the publications and channels that you're trying to get your work in. So it isn't a hard and fast, like, just get it out there and see if you're accepted or not. It can be a process. But if you stick with it, if you're persistent and determined to get it to get in there, then it'll come through.
Yeah, totally. I don't see any questions in the question area. Do you guys have any questions about this?
I have a question related to gift
Yes.
guides. What are your thoughts on paid gift guides, where you pay a fee to get your item listed in something?
Okay, so my feeling is with a lot of that stuff is that unless it's like, okay, the people that never ask you to pay are usually the people that are the best people. So Vogue is never going to probably ask you to pay to be in their gift guide. Real Simple is probably never going to ask you to pay to be in their gift guide. And that's because they would have to declare that as an advertisement, and they don't want to do you as an ad. They want to have you in there as a editorial, right? Like they want you in just like regular, and that looks better for you too. So I would say there are certain cases where somebody might put out like a paid gift guide that is like an insert into a newspaper, or that a run of them goes to different homes in your area, or that even I just don't think a paid gift guide is worth it at all if you're on a blog for a blog. That's just my opinion. And it could be worth it in certain print circumstances. But usually I think the people that are asking you for money are usually not the people that have the best reach. Mm-hmm. And so was there a specific gift guide that you were kind of thinking of, like, or type of gift guide? You don't need to name names,
no,
I guess.
I just remember back when I used to work at a museum, there was the local monthly magazine would do like a gift guide insert, or a special advertising section dedicated to holiday gift guide stuff. And that was something that, because the museum had a gift shop, that we would evaluate from time to time whether or not it was worth it. And we'd always look at it with something like that, especially because it was locally focused and neighborhood focused even. It was a little bit easier to make that jump, because we knew that it was going to be distributed, like you said, in to X number of people, and it was like this whole printed piece. It wasn't like this is an ad in a newspaper or something like that. So
it's part of a brick and mortar, so that makes a lot more sense. And you have to really evaluate if you have local following. Like for some people, their local area is just never going to be the area that wants to support them. True. So you might not want to do that. Like you just might know that, like, if you sell certain things and you're in Portland, and you know that people in Portland are just not that interested in what you make, then that's probably not the best for you. Sometimes there's stuff that's like regional. Like I know like in the South where it'll be like they're covering certain southern states. And so you can feel like maybe more like, okay, like my product fits into this. It's less local, but I think you have to really evaluate who winds up getting it and if they're actually your people. So
it sounds like
I will say that
I was going to say, it sounds like the answer to that is proceed with caution.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that this is different than, say, like, it's not quite the same as, like, you know, like promotional Instagram accounts where it's kind of like that. Maybe they might run like a gift guide thing. And if you're only paying like $5 or $25 to get on their thing, it could be worth it as an experiment. But I wouldn't say that like that's a gift guide per se, but I guess they might call it like a gift guide, and maybe it might go on their website. So, but the thing is, when you're paying to play like that, and unless they've like limited spots, then potentially you could just be one of hundreds of people, right? So you really have to look at like how the person is structuring whatever the promotional opportunity is, and like what their reach is, who the audience is, and who else is going to be promised to be in the guide, that it just looks like, you know, it's going to take so long for people to get to you that it's like not even worth it. Mm-hmm. So those are my thoughts.
Awesome.
Also, if you are in our private community, we have a thing, a resource on getting into gift guides as well too, specifically. So check that out.
Yeah. And you're going to be leading a webinar.
Yes. So we will go more into this topic and then just like holiday promotions in general next week. Next week. Next Thursday, this very day. So a week from today, we are going to be thinking about and strategizing the last minute holiday promo stuff. So it is not too late to get your holiday promotional act together. You're cutting it close, but I am here to help you. So the green button below is where you can sign up for that.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions? Give us a holler in the chat.
If you cannot join live to the holiday promo webinar, if you sign up, you can still watch it afterwards. So don't worry if next Thursday you also have an eye doctor appointment and it's your anniversary. Like, I just can't do it. So.
Or you could just commit like me. I'm here.
Or you could just commit like Isaac and say, I don't care that I can't see anything on the screen. I'm doing it anyways.
All right. Well, next week on YHB TV, we are going to be talking about how you might be giving up on the sale. Specifically, if you're working a craft show or fair or market of some sort, and some of the tips that we have to get that, get your sell on. I know a lot of makers tend to be a little bashful around marketing themselves to strangers. So we'll dive into that.
And we are hoping to have a guest. So you'll want to come back for that. Because if you're just like, I'm tired of these two talking, there will be a third person here to take up more space.
And hopefully offer more expertise than we have.
It's there, certainly.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. This concludes this episode of YHB TV. It sounds so official. I love it. We will try not to be so goofy and discombobulated next time.
No
promises.
That's not happening.
No promises.
Maybe less discombobulated, still same amount of goofy.
Yeah,
that's going to happen.
And I'm going to try and wear different clothing. For some reason, like Thursday is always a line where I'm wearing the same flannel shirt.
Well, I have to confess, this isn't the dress, but I basically have 4 of the same dress, 2 in different colors. And so basically you're going to probably see a lot of that dress on here, guys. It just hasn't happened yet, but there's a dress. I've decided to like Mark Zuckerberg myself with that dress. I found it. I liked it. It's comfortable. I'm wearing the heck out of it.
Yeah,
so
do it. All right. Well, that's it for now. We will see you same time, same place next week. If you have registered for this crowdcast, you are also registered for next week's, which will conclude October's. And then we will set up a brand new set of sessions for November. So thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks so much, guys.
Bye.